since, we know black men are no damn good. So we're going to have some black women tell you who ConMala or ConMala or Scamula or Scumula or Skankula or Kamala Harris, Imhoff. Y'all need to really know who this woman is. Y'all need to understand, oh my God, the Boule is at war against Black America, and Kamala Harris is a Trojan horse of degeneracy, of Black homelessness, of Black disenfranchisement, of our reparations being given to other people. Open, open, open your minds. The brain the mind that can't see has blind eyes. Open your minds, open your heart. Um, we want you to hear from these people. So again, we are working together, Brother Quentin and I. Now that he's moved, and oh my God, I survived severe sepsis. Guys, I'm lucky to be here. So part of my mission has to be standing in solidarity with these great sisters. And we have a whole WASI panel. We got Sister Miriam. We got Ashira, or AKA Black Rose. This is going to be a WASI style show tonight. We want you to hear, ladies, y'all need to hear from these sisters. Y'all need to understand they're using AI and artificial intelligence and all kinds of fake stuff to make you think Kamala Harris is popular. She is not a black woman. She's not a sister. She's not a friend. And them messing with my StreamYard, and y'all need to understand, they're messing with my phone. Y'all have no idea. Little teeny tiny people like you out here listening, liking, and sharing are a threat to the larger game to do a major head job on black folks. And so for all of you that just love, you just got to be with Kamala Harris, and for all the black men that like straight hair and light skin and exotic promiscuity and fornication, it's going to come at a heavy price that you got behind Come Swallow. And this woman in particular, Sheree Peoples, we didn't even know her name. All we knew was there was some mother locked up. Initially, they put it out that she was a sorry black mother, I guess having boyfriends and not making her kid go to school. Turns out that this child has a serious medical challenge that warranted her not being in school. If you know anything about blood diseases, as I'm learning, with anemia and I have lymphoma, you have a blood problem, it's serious, life-threatening, it's painful. So we're going to be hearing from them. I'm just trying to introduce this. I want to do a commercial. On the 24th, we're doing a virtual Patriarch Summit. Everybody can go to Patriarch Summit. Moderators, please spell out Patriarch for them, patriarchsummit.com. We're trying to get black men together to do something for themselves and their communities. And we need you to understand that it's not of insignificance that we have two significant black women of the hour on here. Behind the Patriarch Summit comes the WASI Sia Summit, the Warrior Sisters in Arms Summit, where we began to put together a movement to protect motherhood, womanhood, femininity. Sheree Peoples shouldn't have been out here feeling all by herself. Even Rosa Parks had someone bail her out of jail. We've fallen off the high horse of black integrity and dignity, and we need to get back up on it while there's still time. And part of getting on that horse is not falling for the okie doke of some filth like Kamala Harris. Now, y'all already know Kamala Harris went to Howard same time I did. She was a hoe then. She's a hoe and a liar now. Barack Obama went to Harvard same time as I did. He was a male hoe, maybe backwards, and he's one now. These folks do not care about you. They don't care about us. This is a spiritual, physical survival of us as a people is at stake. Your willingness to open your minds and listen to these ladies. Listen. Don't believe me. That's why we wanted real people. I didn't want, oh yeah, sure, you just racist. You just hate white people. You just yes, I hate the boule. I don't hate white people. I hate the boule as an institution. I hate their philosophy. I hate what they do. Yes, I do. I'm the apostle of boule and coon hatred. But I love God and I love humanity. That's why I don't like the boule and I don't like coons. And you shouldn't either. There's no nice way to deal with coons and the boule when you hear the stories of what have been done to these sisters. And I'm so glad I have some no nonsense sisters like Sister Maria and Sister Black Rose to back me up, because a lot of you sisters.
Yeah, dropped. I don't know why we dropped everybody. Apologize for that. Dr. Short dropped as well. Sister, yeah, here go Dr. Short. I got him back in
I'm
now.
still
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, y'all. You know they don't want us to do this show. So they knocked mine off, then they knocked yours off. And people need to understand they don't do this to some channels. Some people's channels ain't talking about celebrities, talking about booties, talking about twerking, talking about entertainers. We want to talk about Gregory Johnson. We want to talk about Sheree Peoples and her daughter. So, yep, they took me off again. So I'm not gonna worry. I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing. And so we really do want to make it easy for people, but you can see us. Okay, and I want all the moderators help me out, keep it sane. Um, if you don't like God, you don't like awareness, you don't like decency, this isn't the platform for you. I'm not trying to be popular, and in fact, if don't like me, I mean, I consider that an honor. Please make me unpopular with you and stay away from my channel. I really don't want to know you. I don't want to understand, right? I don't want to live next door to you or breathe the same air. I would always tell students that I wanted a world segregated from stupid people, where if they were on the back of the bus, I didn't have to see them. I don't want to be around stupid, self hating, ungodly people. Okay, that's a precursor to hell. I said what I had to say. What is this thing doing? Okay, man, this StreamYard is acting crazy. It's acting crazy, y'all. If you don't think that these people or what the intelligence agencies doing this, you don't understand. These two women here can determine who's going to be president. This is a serious conversation. Now, I want to do one more commercial. This is Let's Talk To. It's the Angry Black Men's Book Club. It's Salt Ministries. We absolutely want you to retweet this, share it, get it out, like it, subscribe. You know that we have I have a PayPal, which is wrandyshort at gmail.com, which is also my Zelle, wrandyshort at gmail.com. I have a Cash App, $ Dr. Randy Short. Your donations are both needed and appreciated. There's a GoFundMe for the Patriarch Summit. And the Patriarch Summit, I can type this in and hope that they don't take this page down. If you think that these people aren't mad at this Patriarch Summit, you have no idea how petty Homeland Insecurity is. They're very much afraid They're afraid of a righteous mother like Sheree Peoples stand up. They're afraid of a righteous mother like Mother Denise Johnson and her husband, who's a pillar of strength to her, dealing with one of the biggest nightmares that has ever happened of all times. It's for someone to kill your child while they're away at college, and the police, the state of California, the Justice Department, even Barack Hussein Ofaga and Eric Dickholder all worked against this woman getting justice for her son. Imagine having your son lynched while he's away at college, trying to get away from a bad crowd that he thought were good people. And the police and everybody comes in and they do nasty stuff to the remains of your child. I wanted Dr. Rhonda Hampton, who knows about Mitrice Richardson, the young black woman, the debutante, whose bodies they found all smashed up, her remains. Kamala Harris is integral to all of these people not getting justice. All the while you're thinking, maybe if you're an ignorant black man, you're saying, wow, if she gave blowjobs that good, she should be a pope. That's not enough. I want to remind you, the Patriarch Summit is on the 24th. We need your support. I had to see the eye doctor yesterday. They dilated my pupils and my eyes are hurting like hell. So if you see me with these shades on, I am cool, but that's not why I'm wearing the shades. This bright light is killing me. But I'm not going to say any more. Patriarch Summit, patriarchsummit.com. It's there. All the information is there. We're still going to get a few speakers. We want your support. Send us a piece. You know how to send it, donate. Moderators, please share patriarchsummit.com as the website that we literally had designed for this moving forward. And there's going to be a subset we're going to have our matriarchs. And good matriarchy is in cooperation with patriarchy. You get two. When you have patriarchy, you have matriarchy and patriarchy. When you have matriarchy, you have chaos. And that's not to attack single mothers. There are a lot of them. A lot of them are widows. But we want a family, right? I'm going to stop speaking. And oh my God, Reverend Denise Johnson, whoo, she could make Creflo Dollar want to trim lawn. She preaches so hard. You should just get out of the business. And when you hear from Sheree Peoples, they're soft-spoken, but she's like a California mountain lion, the kind of thing that attacks your pets. And you say, oh my God, did the lion just walk by me and not kill me? She's got it. So let me get out of the way. I just want to, again, Patriarch Summit, Saturday, August the 24th. Okay, all the information's on the Patriarch Summit website. You don't even have to think. And that's what I expect from Black folks. No thinking is necessary. Just go to the website. All the information is there. I hope you can read. We have a GoFundMe. We still need to pay a few bills. We're doing it virtually, so you don't have to travel. You don't have to buy food. You don't have to go to the nasty TSA people. And we'll meet some other time. As Diana Ross, the Supreme, will say, someday we'll be together. Right now, let's meet virtually. We're doing everything else. And again, you know how to bless. This is the Angry Black Men's Book Club, which is partnered with Salt Ministry, which is working with Let's Talk Too. And we have other friends on their necks. We've got the Negro Knights. We've got Lone Wolf Firearms. We're all working together. And we got another brother down in North Carolina. We even have a group in Mississippi. And I'm feeling better. I want to tell you guys, there is a phenomenal body cleansing herb that you can take called Usea. You should get some, because I've been taking antibiotics for weeks and it makes you super tired. This Usea, I almost feel normal. Now, again, So you know how to bless us. You could do Cash App, you could do Zelle, you could do PayPal, wrandyshort@gmail.com. You can also Cash App, Dr. Randy Short. Yes, we're doing fundraisers. Yes. And I was doing stuff in my hospital bed with all the bad African nurses. That's another discussion. I'm going to come down on the dude from Ghana. I got to explain, you know, I was not experiencing Kunta Kinte love in the hospital. In fact, I felt like the people that caught Kunta Kinte were drawing blood for me. I'm wondering if they were selling it to white people down the hall. All right. No more jokes. No more conversation. I'm going to introduce first. I should do Sister Sheree. Sister Sheree Peoples is a mother from California that experienced fascistic Soviet-style treatment from none other than Kamala Harris when she was Attorney General in California. And I want her to go first because, man, Denise Johnson, as I said, she's like a damn brush fire. I mean, she could set Antarctica on fire. I mean, you know, it would be like having, can you imagine Roberta Flack having to perform after Shaka Khan? It wouldn't be fair to Roberta Flack. And we're not saying Roberta Flack ain't cool. We're saying that Roberta Flack is more mellow, right? So the opening act is Sheree Peoples. And then the fire. In fact, get your extinguishers and wet the sheet and wrap yourself because nobody want to catch on fire. When Denise Johnson go for it, it's, you know, and for all the people that think I'm radical, for all the people that think I'm militant, for all the people that think I'm angry, with all the jokes and stuff, you'll see my friends are worse than I am. I'm sort of a coon. On the radical scale, I'm sort of a coon, but I'm not a coon in general, okay? All right. Bring it. I got you. Miss Peoples, tell your story. This is a person that they don't want us to know about. All we knew was that she was thrown in jail. So open up and speak loud so they can hear you. The Angry Black Man's Book Club, the United New Black Media Matrix, as well as Let's Talk To, we welcome first Sister Sheree Peoples, all the way from the West Coast, Los Angeles. Thank you.
Your mics are muted.
Unmute yourself.
Ashira, your mic is muted as well.
Oh yeah, I had some noise in the background, so I had my mic.
Yeah. The other person that's using your name on here, Ashira, her mic is muted as well.
Oh yeah, that's just so I can use the chat and everything.
No, don't. You don't want to go to that. She didn't join yet, but Denise Johnson is here, Dr. Short.
All right, y'all. Changing program. It's hard being MC, especially on the Black program. Okay. Then let me
and
say.
I'm here as well.
Okay. I have Mother Reverend Denise Johnson, the mother of Gregory Johnson. And I guess Sister Peoples will join us. And I want y'all to share this, like this, share this, like it, share it. When you hear Mrs. Johnson's story, do that. And Ashira, call Miss Peoples up. Are you ready, Miss Greg? Mother Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Get it ripped. Sing to the power of the Lord comes down.
Hi, my name is Denise Johnson. I'm the mother of Gregory Johnson Jr. He was murdered in 2008 at the Sigma Chi fraternity house at San Jose State University. I was contacted at 9:30 p.m. Before I continue, I'd like you to read, it's online, Who Killed Gregory Johnson Jr., or Justice for Gregory Johnson on Instagram, where there's a plethora of articles and videotapes and everything that was had been done since they murdered my son. At 9:30 that night on November 22nd, 2008, mark the date, November 22nd, 2008, I was contacted by the Clear Lake Police Department, where I live. A white officer came into my home, and he had his hand on his gun for the whole time. There were 2 squad cars out there with police officers. They came in and told me that my son had committed suicide, that he killed himself. I fell out on the floor. I have visions, all right, because I'm 71 years old, and I've been here longer than many of you. So I know who I'm hearing from. And I told my husband, because one of the family members was here, came by and offered to take us, which is a 3-hour drive, to the university. And I told my husband, I don't think we'll make it down there, because I didn't understand why an officer came in and had his hand on his gun the whole time to tell me that my son had killed himself, which was a lie. I didn't understand what was going on. But I knew that I felt that if we got in our car and left, that we wouldn't have made it out of the mountains. I live in the mountains. Okay, the coastal mountains of Clear Lake, California. We're in the coastal mountains. We left the next day. It took us, now I'm skipping. We left to go see his body, which they would not let us see him at the coroner's office. They refused. They would not let us see him when we got there. Boy, this brings just like a flood every time I talk about it.
Take your time.
Of memories. So
take your time.
That Sunday we went to the fraternity house, and it took 13 days for us to view his body. We had to get his body here because the coroner's office in Santa Clara County offered to cremate him for us, which we refused.
Do you think that they wanted to cremate him because they wanted to help you, or
no?
Why would they want to cremate?
No.
Okay, so what do you think about cremation?
No, they wanted to cremate his body because when we got to the funeral home where his body was in Clear Lake, it took us 3 weeks to get his body up here. When we got there, I told my husband, I'm taking a camera and I'm going to take a picture of everything that I see. And what I don't see, I know you'll see. When I took a picture of my son stretched out, he had a block that his neck was resting on. When I removed the block, his head fell backwards in my hands. Now, mind you, he had already been embalmed. Nothing was if anything moved, it was stiff. His head fell limply backwards in my hands. And I noted to my husband, and I took a picture of it, which is all over the internet. That picture of the back of his head, he had a 6-inch crack on the back of his head. This case went to ConMala Harris's office when she was sitting up under Jerry Brown. And she just let it sit there because it didn't matter to her. Because
Lord have mercy.
Black people don't matter to her at all. And that's the bottom line. I'm telling you what I experienced, what I know. That case went all the way to Washington, D.C., up under Eric Holder and on Mammy's office. And they did nothing because 33 minus 2, because one was a Nigerian boy and then my son, which I knew nothing about fraternities and all the rituals and all this stuff. I know everything now, but I didn't know then. That case went through all the way to DC. It would the Black. Oh yeah, y'all know about it. Black Caucus, y'all know about it. Nobody went to touch it because they were wealthy, white, racists in a fraternity that murdered my son because of, first of all, because of the color of his skin. That's why they could get away with it. My son was sodomized before or after they killed him. They cracked him in the back of his head. My son had no ligature marks on his neck to indicate that he had ever hung. His neck was broken. That's why it fell backwards in my hands. When I removed the block, his head was resting on. They claim my son murdered himself, hung himself with no ligature marks and a crack in the back. Then, yeah, I guess he cracked himself in the back of his head since he was mad he murdered himself. They claim he did all of this, plus sodomized.
I guess he did that to himself too.
Yeah, he did that to himself too.
After he died.
After he died.
Wow.
He did that. We found out that the house was full. At the house, there had been a party that night. My son he worked at Bolly's. He was a personal trainer. He worked at Bolly's, and he had come in about 10 o'clock. And they were waiting for him. He died upstairs in his bedroom. There was a documentary made about him, a short called I'm Free, and it actually went to the Academy Awards this past January. And then it got squashed under the same Democrats. Now, I don't care about either one of them because I know history. I don't give a damn who's up there. I want justice for my child. He deserved it. He was a student. And he was brilliant. And he was handsome. And he had everything going for himself. He was everything that those 33 boys weren't. First of all, he was honest. He started preaching when he was 5 years old. That's how he ended up in the church. These people, there's nothing that they won't do. The target has always been the children. And it's not enough that we are prisoners of war. It's not enough that they fed our children to alligators. That's not enough. Now they want to be pedophiles, rape them, continue to rape, because that's not the new either. They've been doing this from the beginning, raping our children. So they added that along with his murder. It's online. There are all kinds of pictures online that I took because the coroner's office lied. The coroner's office was in on it. They never gave me pictures. The FBI was in on it. They told me I only need to know something on a need-to-know basis. And they figured I didn't need to know anything. So they gave me no reports.
And you're his mother. You don't need to know anything.
I don't need to know. I didn't need to know anything.
That's preposterous.
This is how they roll. They're in control of the attorneys. They're in control. This case went before Judge Cousins, who threw out every case at San Jose State that were, because there were other, look online, look up the Johnson 7.
Mm-hmm.
There were other cases.
Can you say a little bit about San Jose State so people understand the context? Now, your son was at San Jose State, but there are a whole lot of little hidden Holocausts at San Jose State. Please share that.
Sure. San Jose State is well known to be it was a concentration camp during World War II, a Japanese concentration camp. Okay, San Jose State is extremely, the buildings there, they're very Gothic looking. I can't imagine anything that probably did not happen there. If they would make a university, a concentration camp into a university. And I have tried for years to let young people of color, in fact, anybody, because I don't hate people for the color of their skin. I hate them for what they do to me, for what they do, their actions. You see, if you're going to do right, you're a lover of the truth. You're not a lover of lies. You're a lover of the truth. That is a wicked place where wicked things happen. I had a Judge Cousins tell me in federal court in Santa Clara County, the city of San Jose, tell me that that my son's case was thrown out because of the statute of limitations. Well, guess what, black folks? There's a statute of limitations when you're black and killed, but nobody else has a statute of limitations. They had the pictures. They wouldn't give me their pictures. The FBI had the information, and they told me I only needed to know on a need-to-know basis to know anything. They refused the FOIA. They would not give it to me. They said it was a matter of national security. That's why they couldn't give me the FOIA.
And the FOIA stands for Freedom of Information Act, right?
Right. Nobody could get it to this date.
That's a boatload of crap.
Since 2008.
Ms. Johnson, who was in this fraternity? Who were the boys in the fraternity?
Mike Loris was his.
Name the fraternity. The fraternity is
Sigma Chi.
Sigma Chi.
Sigma Chi fraternity. Okay, Sigma Chi fraternity. They had one other guy that was African in the fraternity. No, it was not a black fraternity. They had one other guy that was African, and I think they had a couple of guys that were Latino. But no, it was not as diverse as they say they are. Okay, and like I said, I knew nothing about
signifiers going to be
I knew nothing about.
Since Gregory's death, have there been any other incidents at San Jose State that you're aware of?
Yes. There have since it started in 1997, and if you look up the Johnson 7, it's online. Or Dr. Short, I can send you.
What does Johnson 7 mean?
These are the 7 young men that were mysteriously unalived.
They were murdered
at that university.
7 deaths of primarily non-white men at San Jose State University.
No, not white men. They're non-white men, and one guy. Yeah,
they
right.
weren't white. These were mostly people that were not white, that were male, that were killed at San Jose State. How many of them would you say the 7 were black?
6.
So
including
6 blacks, including your son, and what, 1 Latino or some other?
One Mexican.
So honorary white and 6 blacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yes. all of these cases. Cottrell Collier, mysteriously, they said he jumped off a roof, committed suicide. I'm sorry, I'm getting older, so the dates. Yeah, I used to know.
It's okay.
Rattled off. Yeah.
It's all right. We
Yeah.
can, if you want, we can do this again. The key thing is Kamala Harris. You had an opportunity to have your day in court. Did
Yes.
Kamala Harris help you?
No, I never heard from
Repeat that.
Kamala Harris. My attorney
You
never heard from
Kamala
her.
Harris. Did you
Never.
reach out to Kamala Harris?
Yes. Yes.
How many times?
Yes. This case has gone on just about every year.
Since 2008.
Right. Somebody has contacted the state legislature about Gregory, about what they did to him.
And Kamala Harris has never given you an email
Never.
or call?
Never
or
an email. Nothing. Zero. Nothing.
Now, is it true or false that you had an opportunity to get into court and present your case, and the state's attorney, which was Kamala Harris's office, didn't handle the documentation or the information around the case properly? Or something
Yes,
to that
sir.
effect?
Yes, sir. They came to court. The state's attorney's office sent a white woman, lawyer, attorney, to court, and she had no paperwork.
No paperwork.
No paperwork. She couldn't refer to anything because she came empty-handed.
So she came to a murder trial,
Yes.
high profile, she didn't even come with the stick of gum.
Nothing.
Okay, let me ask a question. You live in California.
Mhm.
Yes or no, it's been rumored that Kamala Harris is notorious for losing cases, paperwork, stuff, not having incompetent staff. Yes or no, you've heard this?
Yes, I've heard it, and I know how horrible she has done black men who had one joint. She'll sentence them to make sure they stay there a good while in jail so they can work.
Mm-hmm. What kind
There's
of work?
a workhouse right where I live. It's a county jail, and you can get sentenced to that county jail for well over a year.
For having a joint.
For having a joint. And you could and you have to work. When you get there, it's a plantation.
Mm-hmm.
You plant food. That they grow their own food there. And yes, she sentenced black men to San Quentin who for nothing, and then made sure they stayed a good while.
Now, let me ask you a question, because people watching this, and I'm going to just say, there are a lot of stupid-ass black people that only understand stuff when it happens to them personally, okay, which is a big problem with black folks. But I'm going to ask you, you're a black woman. Don't you think that this isn't a good time for you to talk about this situation, and that Kamala Harris has an opportunity to be a historic black woman first president of the United States? Don't you think that you choosing to talk about Gregory's death is going to take away a lot of people's hopes and aspirations to see a black woman be president of the United States? How do you feel about that?
The man you call Jesus.
As a spoiler, that you're a spoiler and you haven't moved on.
The man you call Jesus, Yeshua, he said, I am the way. In other words, he was telling you, follow his ways. The truth and the light. Without truth, there is no light. Without truth, there is no way. Yes, I'm so happy I have the opportunity to tell the truth about lying Kamala Harris. She has no business. She's not black. She doesn't consider herself black. She's a South Indian.
Okay. So wait a minute. So but that's how you feel. But the larger picture about young black women that may need a role model of a black woman in the White House, much like having a man, as a supposedly black man, Obama in the White House for young men. Don't you see how people consider you doing this ill time that you're like basically being like a gadfly or humbug when a lot of people are feeling energized about the candidacy of Kamala Harris? She's raised $300 million. There are tens of thousands of people on phone calls. I mean, she's almost been coordinated as a presidential nominee. Unprecedented. I mean, a lot of people could think it's, that, you're being, selfish. How do you think that if you, because you may encounter that?
I'm standing for all the 7 mothers that got no justice. And then I stand for the millions throughout history of people of color who got no justice. Whatever she may want to be, hopefully it's in her dreams and it doesn't go any further. And no, I don't feel bad about it. I'm too old to lie. I'm too old to lie. I stand on the truth of a man who was my color. And then those of you out there who want to say, oh, well, doesn't matter what color. Well, why did they change his color if it didn't matter? Oh, yes, my child's life mattered. Mm-hmm. And the other ones matter. And the thousands mattered.
Now, are you in touch with the other 6 mothers? And did any of these murders or strange deaths, whatever, occur after Gregory Johnson, or were they all before 2008?
One that was not a death, it's not on there. Donald Williams. That was after Gregory. And Antonio, the Mexican man that was shot on the campus, that was after Gregory. No, I am not in contact. The last contact I had was about two years ago when Black, I forget the name of it. It wasn't Black Lives Matter, but they've run across me too. Black outreach at the school. And then from time to time, I still hear from some of the activists. But no, I haven't talked to the mothers. I went to a meeting some years ago where I met Fred Hampton's son.
Okay, Fred Hampton Jr.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And it was a Baptist church in Oakland, California, and there were hundreds of Black mothers whose children had been killed by the police way too young.
You said hundreds of mothers who had children killed by the police.
Right in the Bay Area. Yes, sir.
Was any of this during Kamala Harris's?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, so lots of people were killed when Kamala Harris was. I remember the guy getting shot on the BART. But let me ask you: didn't Kamala Harris do something good? Isn't there something good that you can say about Kamala Harris and what she was doing in California? Is there anything good that you can say we hear? Is there something? I mean, because people are going to say, okay, well, she can't be all bad. Is there something good that she did that you can point to, that you can think of?
Yes, sir. It's good that she wants to be Black, because I think Black women are beautiful. But we have to be what the Most High made us to be. We are what He made us to be. It's not our choice.
So, her wanting to be Black, I don't know if she really wants it, but maybe the benefits of it without the carrying the cross. That's it. Now, other than your son and other than these, what are some of the other things that people should be on the lookout for regarding Kamala Harris, based on your California experience? Because you've actually, all we've seen her do is giggle for the last 4 years. What other things should we be out on the lookout for Kamala Harris? Things that we're likely to hear as this race gets hotter from Black people in California. What have you heard, seen, or witnessed or experienced?
Well, I'm not out and about like I used to be as much. Kamala Harris has done nothing for people of color. Okay, nothing. I expect nothing. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. I expect nothing from her. If she gets in, I expect to see the body count to go up.
Okay, body count.
She hates
If I
Black
may
men.
interject
Oh,
for a moment.
so you're saying that Black men are going to die if Kamala Harris becomes president?
Men, women, and children.
Men,
Yes,
women, and Black. So there's
children.
going to be
Black
Yes,
American, not
a
people
lot.
of
Black.
color, Black American.
Now,
Well, black
let me
is a
stop.
crayon color. We're copper colored.
Um,
So, nobody's the color of
It's
my
not
hair.
people of color though.
Yeah,
okay, now
that was a
let
given
me
name.
let me ask
Mhm.
a question, and I'm going to stop asking questions in 1 second. Did Miss Peoples join us, Black Rose?
She's
Yes,
here.
yes.
Oh my God,
Uh,
Mrs. Peoples.
Give her an honorary intro.
Sharice,
Yes,
just unmute your mic, Miss Peoples.
I'm gonna introduce again. I I have Miss Sheree Peoples. She's the great Black mother dealing with a child that has special medical needs that was mass incarcerated by Kamala Harris. That she boasts about it, and I want her to come forward at this time, and I want her to give her story. And when you're done, I'd like for you sisters to have a conversation with each other with one thing, and I want to deal with this now. Miriam, you and I agree we don't like people of color. We're non-boomers. I
That's right.
love Mother Denise Johnson. She's a boomer. She's saying people of color, but I don't think that she's talking about people different from us. If we quibble over the small print in this instance, we lose the story. So we're going to
I was
let this
listening.
one time. People say people of color or an elder mother who's been traumatized and has been on the battlefield. I'm going to let her have that the same way some people like saying Negro. And I ask for that small dispensation for Mother Johnson because I know she's
Oh,
on the
indeed.
battlefield and she knows how to say black and it's in her mouth. Like Kamala Harris has things in her mouth, Mother Denise Johnson has had the word black in hers. So we don't want to make that a contest over semantics. So I want y'all to talk because y'all sisters need to hear each other. Y'all say men don't listen to you. A lot of you ladies don't listen to each other. Y'all don't support each other when you're being trafficked, when you're underpaid, when you're sexually harassed, when you're abused, when you're mass incarcerated, when you're mistreated in the military. Black women have to become advocates for Black women, children, and Black men. So I'm going to let Sheree, I'm going to bring her in, let her say whatever. If you just do your story, I don't have to pull it out. I will shut my mouth. Y'all happy with these shades on because of my dilated pupils. I feel like a crackhead and headlights. I don't mind. And then I want you sisters to talk, and we men, we can be passive, we can be simps, and just shut the hell up and let you guys talk. But we want to hear from you. So, Sister Sheree, she's the woman that they didn't want you guys to know her name. We couldn't say her name. I want everybody to say Sheree Peoples. Say it 4 or 5 times. 5 times. Sheree Peoples.
People, Sheree,
It's
Sheree
Sheree.
Peoples.
Sheree
Sheree.
Sheree
Peoples,
Peoples.
Sheree,
Sheree Peoples.
Sheree, Sheree,
I'm sorry,
Sheree.
Sheree. I don't know. We can't pronounce
It's
sisters'
okay.
names. Sheree People. We're gonna do it 5 times. I stand to be corrected. You know what? You know what? When we have the patriarchal revolution, we're gonna be able to pronounce people's names again. We're gonna do what these sisters are name spelling with
And we,
accents and such.
It's
and
the
we,
accent
and,
mark. It's the
yeah,
accent mark that goes over the last E. So
Yeah,
okay,
it
but
looks like
we didn't
Sheree.
see it. It wasn't on
okay,
Twitter. I would have
Because
sent it
they
there.
don't
So look,
put it. They don't. I'm not
yeah,
Beyonce. I'm
Sheree,
not Beyonce, so they're not
okay.
gonna put it on my E.
okay, all right.
If
I'm
I
not
was
mad.
Beyonce, they'll
Don't
go
be
ahead
mad
and put
at
it on
me.
my E.
Don't be mad at me. I used to be a teacher, and it was a nightmare with black women names. You always were wrong, no matter how you did it. I mean, it's like being in child support court when you're a hoe as a man. So we're gonna do it again. It's Sheree
Yes.
People. We're gonna do it 5 times, and we're gonna say, "God bless Sheree Peoples." God bless
God
Sheree
bless.
God
Peoples.
bless Sheree
God,
Peoples.
Oh,
God
thank you.
bless
God bless.
God bless.
God
Sheree
bless
Peoples.
Sheree
God
Sheree
people.
bless
Peoples.
Sheree Peoples.
God bless Sheree
God
people.
bless Sheree Peoples.
God
God
bless Sheree
bless.
God
Peoples.
bless
God
Sheree
bless
Peoples.
Sheree Peoples.
God bless. Here's Sheree Peoples. Come on, sister. Come on.
Hi,
We want to hear
everybody.
from you.
My name is Sheree Peoples. You can call me Miss Peoples if it's easier, because of course they look like Sheree. A little bit about me. I'm from LA. I'm now in Orange County. I really like it out here. But in 2013, I was arrested for truancy under the Kamala Harris truancy law. In the state of California, it is a criminal law for parents to keep their children out of school, what they consider 10% of the time. My child
Very like that,
is
Jack.
diagnosed and still has sickle cell anemia, which is a medical condition, an inherited medical condition that she got between me and her father. It is the oldest hereditary condition in the world that has no cure. All of her major organs suffer because of it. My daughter had a stroke at the age of 13. Her
Mm,
stroke was actually during my trial. When I got arrested for truancy, I went to jail. They released me, and I had to appear for court under trial for 2.5 years. For 2.5 years, I was fighting and fighting and fighting to prove a case in which my daughter was never technically truant. She was in a hospital. She was sick. Sickle cell is very painful. It
mm,
affects everything from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. The thing with sickle cell is your blood, it's round. All normal people blood is round, which allows the oxygen molecules to attach itself to it. Because my daughter's her blood cells is not round, it's a sickle shape. The oxygen molecules have a hard time attaching. Therefore, the oxygen is not being circulated properly, which causes a lot of pain. The school wanted me to bring her to school first for them to tell me that she needs to go to the hospital. I'm under doctor's orders to bring her to the hospital. What makes them think that I'm going to take my daughter to school and not to the hospital where she belongs to be treated for her health condition? I'm mandated health wise through the medical system, and I'm also mandated through the school policy. And I want people to understand what happened was through the policy of the school. Understand that we are governed by the policy. This policy integrated a criminal law inside of the ed code. It is the only criminal law that is inside of the ed code where parents are being held criminally responsible, not DS, not your children being called for DPS, children's services. I am going to criminal court. I am not going to truancy court. My daughter wasn't going to truancy court. I was in criminal court for 2.5.
It's just making it known we're not people of color.
I don't hear. What happened with the sound?
She froze for a second. She
You
froze.
can't hear me?
There you go.
Yeah, we get
You have
get
froze
cut
for a
off.
second. You can finish.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have froze for a second. You go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So what I was
Hold,
saying is
hold,
sickle cell
hold
is a
one second. Hold 1 second. Someone's doing something. There's background noise. It needs to stop. I hear somebody talking. Thank you. Go ahead, Sheree.
Okay. So throughout this whole entire process of my trial, being arrested, first of all, it was on the news. They walked me out. I was already fighting the district prior to my arrest. I was already working on her IEP. I requested that. She had a 504 in place already. So, what people don't understand is the fact that my daughter was still under a federal umbrella under her 504, which is supposed to be for discrimination protection for people with disabilities. She had that in place at the time of my arrest. None of this is disclosed. None of this was disclosed. The fact that my daughter had sickle cell when they arrested me, the fact that she had a 504 in place when I got arrested, and the fact that I was also inactively working for IEP at the time. So I was a very active parent. I was always on call anytime. I can't even work a full-time job because of my daughter condition and how much she's in the hospital, and as much I was sitting in the ER, I lost so many good employment because of her medical condition. So at the end of the day, prior to my arrest, she had 60 absences, 40 of which I had overturned because I was actually challenging the board regarding her attendance because I kept getting these letters. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm getting these letters. Oh, it's nothing, Miss Peoples. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But the whole entire time, they were setting something up. They sent investigators to my house because I had a 504. I was working with attorneys already prior to my arrest. I was thinking that this investigator was investigating the reason why I'm not getting services. So as I'm talking to the investigator, not realizing that it was actually the police until the conversation was done. When they handed me his business card, I'm like, and I looked, I said, investigator, police department, do I need a lawyer? Do I need to lawyer up? And he was like, no, Miss Peoples, you didn't do nothing wrong. And I still at that time did not make the connection regarding this truancy, like the criminal aspect of truancy. So the whole time I'm working, thinking that I was fixing the problem. So when they came to my house and the guy was like, okay, we have a warrant for your arrest. You have a warrant? You can't have a warrant. No, like I was just talking to the school like a week ago. And he said, I know, Miss Peoples, I was there. And I was like, really? Now you're at my house and you arrested me? I don't get it. And he said, can you make sure you get your cell phone and make sure you grab a jacket? So when they release you, you can call your family and let them know that you're out. It's a special warrant. That's what he said. It was a special warrant. I'm like, oh, I'm special. They written up a special warrant just for me. Like, what kind of special warrant they written up? Like, this don't make any sense. So the whole time in my mind, I'm just like, I can't believe it. What's the point of having a 504? How can I advocate for my parents to make sure they have these documents in place if they can come back and use it against me? How can I advocate for my other parents with sickle cell and other conditions to ensure their child well-being if they can come to my home and arrest me with these documents in place? Ladies and gentlemen, these are federal documents. It ain't a state document, it's a federal document. And it was looked over. It wasn't even submitted to the district attorney's office. So whatever that they submitted was just attendance only. It didn't even show that my daughter was even a child, a special needs child. And it took 2.5 years. 2.5 years, and then want me to plead guilty with no contest. And I refused to plead guilty with no contest. And they thought I didn't know what it meant. I was still pleading. That meant that guilty charge would still be on my back right now if I would have pleaded. But because I didn't, the judge made them drop my case. And it took And in that 2.5 years, my daughter suffered a massive stroke that we are still dealing with to this day. She is paralyzed on her right side
My
because,
God.
because of the stress that she still is having effects from to this day. The effects that that trial had on my child is unexplainable.
Stop for one moment. In terms of your daughter's medical care, what kind of help are you getting?
I mean, the help that I get is called in-home. As far as financial, or what?
Uh,
What do you mean?
Well, for example, um, this is why people should have known. And one of the other crimes committed against you is that we didn't even know your name. If someone wanted to make a donation or even like get your pair of shoes or some Depends or something, wouldn't have even known who or where or how to do it. And so I want to just mention for people that want, perhaps somebody will see this and want to help you, how could they contact you? I know you're in Twitter. What ways, if people wanted to help in particular, it's your daughter that's in need, how could people help or contact you? Because we don't want to just hear that your daughter is in need. We need to make it clear, hey, y'all, we need to do something. I don't know what it is, but people should be able to contact and communicate with you. If nothing else, then to send a prayer or send a devotion or send a check or send a box of dried fruit, something, because to go through this is terrible. And that's my thought. So how, if someone hears this for the first time, they hear about Sheree Peoples, and it says, God, that's effed up, that's terrible. Other than saying it's bad, how could they be of support to you?
They can always email me at my first and last name. So it's CHEREE, like Sheree Peoples, is my email. And then I actually have a wonderful friend of mine
Sheree Peoples
at
at
Gmail.
Gmail. Okay, so let's stop for 1 second. It looks like it's Sheree. It's pronounced Sheree. CHEREEPeoples@gmail.com. It's a way in which one can communicate and contact Miss Peoples. Do you do Cash App? Do you?
I have a GoFundMe that's up. It's Miss. What does she have it up as? Because a friend of mine did it for me. So it's Miss Sheree People's Journey is the name of it.
Miss Sheree People's Journey is the GoFundMe. If I've got moderators, can you put that up? Look, and yes, if we raise money, you wonder
in the
why
chat.
Jesus.
It's in the chat
Yeah,
as well
okay,
as her
well, good.
email.
But I just want to make certain it's heard, because you know what? People don't read, especially our people. Okay. If you gave them a bag of water balloons, if they wouldn't read, they would assume it's a condom unless you told them otherwise.
Oh,
You
goodness.
absolutely have to tell people who don't like using their brain. It's part of the condition. So she has to go fund me. I want you, if you can't give, share it to someone. Somebody is a lot of people, somebody has to go to Vegas. This woman's daughter, we didn't even hear the daughter was broke, and they're railroading the mother by the most powerful general in the country. ConMala Harris, who killed more blacks than any other state attorney general in the history of America. She and Joe Biden have put more black people in jail than any two elected officials in the history of this country. And what is the outgoing president? And no good people want to for the woman. In terms of women locking up, she's the champion. Okay. But this woman being framed, being mocked, being mistreated, caused her daughter to suffer. And yes, we're going to keep talking about giving. Who much is given, we've been given a lot, much is required. Yes, on my channel, I'm going to ask. This isn't for me. I'm not going. This is for this woman and the daughter. Somebody can drop a few coins. I mean, it goes a long way. God knows. And once she goes public, people, the persecution and harassment is likely to follow. This is why I got 4 phones, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts, because people don't like the truth in her mouth and Denise Johnson's mouth and Brother Q's mouth, Black Rose's mouth, and definitely Marion's mouth. Damn. We have to show love. Jews raise money for each other, right or wrong. Latins, the little African boy that went to the street knocking on the wrong white door, those Africans, doesn't matter if they wear white socks. They spent millions on that boy. We have a tragedy. We say, man, this is tragic. Let me spend some money on some weave and go get it. I'm so upset. Let me spend money with somebody.
Hey, Dr. Short.
Yes, sir.
They doing something to your volume. You keep going in and out.
Well, I mean, they're going to do that. There's very little. I mean, I'm going to check out in a second. But the people are hearing it on my channel. I don't know how many you got, but I got 50. I got 50 more. They tell me I got 0 in StreamYard. You know, these people are goofy. My audience will hear yours, Johnson. So let me see. If I've got moderators, Sister Mariam, can you put it up? Or Sister Quiet Field, love you. Can y'all put up Sheree's? I can put it up. I want y'all to be able to help this sister out. If not today, a week from now, it'll always be needed. The struggle's always going on. It's always going to happen. It's always going to be a need. We're at war. Wars require fun. People that stand up and speak up and cost. Okay, this is sacrifice. We got to do what we do for her. And I don't mind running my mouth. Let me say, it's Sheree Peoples' journey, right? It's the GoFundMe. I don't think it's anymore, but we have help each other. There's a sister I know who's active. She didn't even have money for gas for her car. And, you know, I had to send 30 some odd dollars. I hope it fills her tank. Her car isn't that big, not like my mother's old Lincoln Town car. But this sister's out doing community work and didn't have gas to get her car to go to a food bank. So when y'all see me asking, you have no idea how often people turn around and ask me. If they see you out here, they assume that you're rich. That people just make it rain. No, our platform doesn't do that. But if it's a fellow activist, we don't let a soldier like this. We don't let a queen like this. But this woman's a queen, not Megan Thee Stallion. These are the kind of people that need to have rained on you. Okay, this is a Wazi. This is a warrior sister. This sister's worthy. Now, as broke as I am, I got to send something. You need to get a GoFundMe. Someone's going to give me something, even if I just send you $20 or $50 or whatever. I mean, at least 20 or cuss me out. You can go and say, Dr. Short's cheap. To send you something, because I was up in the hospital and, you know, and God have mercy if you got like some like hostile African and Caribbean nurses that want to punish Black people because they wish white Americans would love them. So I know you got to be up in the hospital all the time watching. There was a guy that didn't want to touch my urinal, was acting like, you know, my urinal's going to kill him. I mean, shoot. I mean, I wasn't asking you to drink it, I was asking you to empty it. So I know you have to live up in the hospital. You got friends that molest in the hospital. So this thing is constantly incurring an expense above and
Very
beyond what's
expensive
been done to her.
because you got to
So,
pay for parking. They don't feed me. It's very expensive, and then I
no,
don't even get paid to take care of her while she's in a hospital. So my whole check get cut when she's in a hospital. I can't even get anything. So it's such a help. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I am such deep gratitude and
and we're
so
going to do
grateful for everything.
a space just for you in Twitter. You're on Twitter. Miriam here. Oh, this man, she's like, God, she's sort of like, wow. She's like Whitney Houston with spaces. We need to get a space and have you on. We can do this later. We can do what we want. I love people in California because I don't go to sleep early. We have a space and we can put this up and with Sister Eve, and we're gonna shake people down. We're gonna shake this tree and tell you at least get something, at least a tank of gas, as expensive as gas and everything is. In California, y'all got all the taxes on the gas. I mean, the gas is what, $7 a gallon out there or 6? How much?
It's 5 and some change right now.
Damn. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
expensive. Don't. It's very right now. Everything is going. Our rent is high. Everything is shot up. You can't find a 2-bedroom for under what 2,700.
And you're paying for medical care for your daughter impacted by the racism of the state, and they're giving free medical care to the illegals. We should be outraged. Let me be quiet because it's not my story. And let me just shut up because I'm going to get mad. Go ahead, keep going. I'm going to be quiet. And you and Denise can talk, and then y'all ladies talk. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
Send us
okay.
some money. She needs some MFM. Y'all know what that means? It means motherfucking money, not
Yeah,
just
hey,
reparations.
hey, 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 watch that language, Dr. Short. Sister Sheree, I just sent
Yeah.
you a text, okay? Send me that info.
Okay.
But we do need our
Yes, we
MFM.
need MFM. That includes for people that stand up. Rosa Parks didn't go through what this lady's been through. And we all like her because she's dead. You don't have to give nothing. So please, this is going to fall back up. Uh, I'm going to, we've got to tell everybody this woman's name. She's got to get a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe, but a Cash App so people can just send. I want to thank all the generous people on my platforms, the people that sent me stuff. I feel better today. Somebody sent me a donation. I was able to buy. When you're sick, you have to keep buying medicine and such. I have to keep taking stuff. Let me just show you. So this is my little bit as compared to doing what the paralyzed do. This is my little Billie Holiday sleeve because I have to take antibiotics until September because they gave me bad blood in the hospital 2.5 years ago. And I had to pay for the constantly do stuff, home nurse. And that's just bacteria. What is her paralyzed daughter going through? What is she going through? Okay, and so let's be generous. We prove that we're angry with oppression and racism when we help each other, when we give each other, when we share with each other, when we're collective, when we give a damn. And I wouldn't have said, I didn't know her daughter was paralyzed. It just changed I mean, I was already mad. Now I'm completely pissed off. Anyway, let me be quiet. I'm sorry. I get angry, y'all. And then I start talking because I don't want to start cussing. Anyway, let me be quiet. Go ahead, sister.
Sheree, let me ask you a question about
Yes,
the
sir.
so your charges did not get thrown out until the judge made a court order.
Yes.
Did
Yes, sir.
did the prosecution object to it?
I want to say they were trying to get me to plea before anything. So the first year or so, or year, 2 years, so it reminds you, it was a 2.5 year battle that I went through. So the first 2 years was just back and forth to court. They did a lot of stuff behind chambers. I had to go back twice a month. It seemed like every 2 to 3 weeks or so. And then kind of leading up into the second year, I noticed there were a lot of changes, like DA changes on my case. So every time I went to court, it seemed like it was a different person, but I wasn't at that time for sure. Now I know for sure it was. But leading up to that 2-year mark, my attorney asked me to speak with the DA. And this is when I noticed a turn in my case. And they were on me. When I say they, both sides, my attorney plus the DA wanted me to plead guilty with no contest. And basically was like, go, if you do parenting classes, if you do all these things. So they laid out whatever they wanted me to do, and take this deal. You can come back to the court in 6 months and the judge would drop your case. And I told them, if that's the case, they can drop it now, because I didn't do anything wrong. I was still under a doctor's advice. I'm still under medical care, because at the end of the day, the doctor still can call DPS on me. So if I do not follow what the doctor is saying, I can still get in trouble by not providing the health care. So what they had me under was parental neglect, is the charge that I was charged with. Educational parental neglect, but they had me under neglect. So it's like taking a DPS case and making it criminal. So all of these parents that are getting their kids taken away, they'll be going to jail, because that's what it was like. If I'm going to jail for neglect, 9 times out of 10, neglect case goes through the other side. When you get your kids taken, you're not going to criminal court. You're going to family court, but it's not criminal. It's only becomes criminal if you harm a person.
Just
if you hit the kid, but people get their kids taken away even if they didn't harm them themselves. If they were part of the situation, you can still get your kids taken even if you didn't harm them, but because they were there, they get taken.
For the sake of everyone in the chat, what she's saying is absolutely correct. I don't know much about California law, but like she said, usually when you're dealing with family court, it's civil.
Yes.
It never is criminalized.
It's not criminal. And
so
I think that's the difference. People don't get it.
With this case, it is so opposite of what most of us see in other states, because they literally criminalized the truancy program.
Yes.
They criminalized us for something that she was basically following federal law.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I had a 504 in place. She had the 504 since kindergarten. When I got arrested, I want to say she was about in the 3rd grade by that time. So she already had this particular document in place for 3 to 4 years, when they didn't even disclose any of that information to the DA. Because when I requested some of the documents from the court, it didn't have none of that in there. None of it wasn't really brought up until it was during my trial, that it was brought up with this particular DA, because he was like, oh, I have a friend that had sickle cell and he's 30 something years old and he's not that sick. And I'm like, what your grown friend got to do with my sick child? There's different forms of sickle cell. Don't do your research, because if you know sickle cell, there's sickle beta thal, there's sickle SS, sickle cell SC, and the sickle cell trait. So make it make sense. So if you need to get educated on what sickle cell truly is, and it's a hereditary condition that my daughter caught between me and her dad. It's not contagious. You can't catch it. Cough, sneeze. It's not that at all, but it's very painful. All of her organs are affected. Every single person, like if me and you deal with a headache differently, I can probably still function. You probably can't. You probably need to be in the bed. I'm like, hey, but we both have a headache. It's like that within the sickle cell world. And they're born with this. And I was criminalized and had to basically prove my daughter's illness. And her stroke wasn't even enough. Her stroke that she had while I was in court, I was actively in trial. I wasn't set for pre-trial. I wasn't set for anything. For 2 years in my mind, we were picking a jury every time I went to court. Okay, I'm gonna have my day. I'm gonna have my day. Today's the day. That was my mindset. I wasn't a criminal. Both of my parents worked. My mom got diagnosed with cancer. We had a house. I lived in Watts, but we had what they would call the American dream. My dad retired. He paid his taxes. He wasn't no gang member. He wasn't nowhere near it. My mom wasn't a gang member. So how did they associate my child to be a gang member? So now on top of that, they were framing her to see probation officers, to take her to the police station to scare her straight in elementary school because they didn't want her to be a gang member. I'm not even from Orange County. I don't know the gangs out here. Orange County is not LA. The geographics out here are Hispanic and Caucasian. It's not a lot of us in Orange County. We're like sprinkled throughout, but it's not a lot of me. So it's a big difference between LA and Orange County. We're more on the Republican side, and LA is more on the liberal side. So we're apples and oranges. But it was a hard time in my life. We were homeless at the time. I was living in a motel and with no support, with nothing. So to tell you that my life has completely did a 360 since that case, since my trial, it really has. I never in my wildest dreams thought that it would lead to this. It never did. I just knew it was wrong. It was wrong. It took 2.5 years out of my life. I couldn't get a job. When I had my job, they fired me because they found out that I had an active criminal case. Because my case was criminally set and it was neglect, I can't even work in the nursing field. So it was hindering my profession because you can't have any of that stuff because your lifespan. My life was on the line to take care of my child. Because if I have anything on my background, then the state won't pay me to care for her. So at the end of the day, I was proving her illness on top of saving my livelihood.
So let me ask you, with all that's going on with the vice president being a candidate to run for presidency, and all her background is coming up about the things that she did as attorney general and all the stuff she did in California. Share with us, like, how does it make you feel when people try to make her seem like she's a great person, she a bad person? You're someone that was directly affected by a policy that she was put in place in a negligent prosecution office.
For me personally, I don't know her. I don't know her personally. I just know that she was the top prosecutor and that was her job. It hurts the fact that all of this is coming up now, and I wish it was in a different light on how she helped people. So it's unfortunate. A part of me, yes, is happy that we have a woman that's doing her thing because I'm a woman. So it's conflicting because a part of me wanted to go to the NAACP, wanted for it to look like me, how I was raised, and that just wasn't it. And that hurts because I couldn't go to them. I couldn't get the help from them. So it's like, where do I turn to? So at the end of the day, I'm torn. I'm completely torn because it's like I'm a political pond, and I want to be here to help my parents. I want to be here to help people. My last name is Peoples, and it's Peoples for a reason. That is my legal last name at that. So I got to be here for my people. I'm not here for her. I'm here because of the policy and to let people know we are governed by policy. To pay attention, understand their roles and their jobs, because I don't think people understand what a attorney general truly is. And they get her confused with the police. She's not the police. She's a prosecutor. She's the one that takes the information from the police to pull you through court. The police is not the one who's taking you to court. They arrest you. So the narrative is which is confusing because people don't understand their jobs as a whole. So to say ConMala didn't arrest me, how could she arrest me when she's not the police? That would never be true for any attorney general. That won't be true for any prosecutor because that is not their job. Now, the police, on the other hand, is meant to arrest. They do the paperwork and submit it to the DA, and they're the ones that can choose what case to take to court. They're not the ones slapping the handcuffs on you. They can do a DA reject. They can choose not to prosecute. So understand the definitions of people's position because she's not the police. She's not. She's a prosecutor. They do not work in the police department. What prosecutor you know is in the police department? They work for the court. Two different things. So I'm here to educate. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to educate so we can make the sound and right decisions on who we're going to vote for, or any local community, statewide, federal, right? It doesn't matter, but it starts locally. It starts where you are, understanding the political structure in the state, in your local government that affects the federal as a whole. At the end of the day, so I'm torn. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to educate the masses, to let people know this is not the intertwining of the language in this policy. The criminal aspect of truancy. Parents are being held criminally responsible for their children, and it's not just through truancy. There is other cases where parents are being held responsible for any actions that your child do at school. Any action. So if your child is robbing somebody and they press charges on your child, it's a possibility that you can get charged too, along with your child. So it was a child that did a mass shooting, and his parents got manslaughter for him going to shoot up the kids. So understand, this is going to, they're going to get in and arrest you for your child's behavior. You're going to be held criminally responsible for your child's behavior. Be actively involved. If your child is stealing, doing something that they don't have no business, especially at school, they can press charges against you criminally. Look it up. This just happened in 2024. These parents went to prison for manslaughter because their child went to shoot up the school. And the school warned them, just the way they said it with me. They warned me with letters, but I was persistent. They said they warned them parents. They called them parents to say, come get your kid. They didn't go. The same day they didn't go, he shot the school up. And now them parents is in prison behind a child. So you too can go to jail if your kid is being effed up in school. And they really want to take it there. And they feel like that child caused that much harm. And they already have a case on the docket that they can use because they use other cases to prove their point. And they're still making truancy a criminal offense in other states.
So we're at this point, and I want to open it up for you sisters to have a discussion because there's several of you there. I'm going to go on mute because I don't think we're hearing grassroots Black women talk about policy, voting, elections, or any of that. We're hearing a lot of rah-rah, and this isn't a cheerleading situation. I'm not a praise singer. And it would be nice to hear a healthy discussion for maybe, 20 minutes, what we have left, for you sisters to talk your thoughts on Ms. Johnson. And I hope you come back. I hope you guys will come back. So this is conversations, and we'll do more. It'll be more structured, but this is important. And there's a book that's called I have the book. 1 in 9 Black children's in child and family services. So they're taking children away from our community in frightening numbers, and it's a racket. And sometimes it's just human trafficking and so forth. It's very important that Sister Sheree stood by her daughter. People do all kinds of stuff, and so I want to open the floor up, and we men are going to shut up and be simps, as hard as that is to do on the Angry Black Men's Book Club platform. And we want your sisters to have a conversation, and wherever it goes, it goes. And when it's 21 minutes, we cut it off. And we'll do this again. We want to do Wasi Speaks, and that was the whole plan, was to get the Black women's voices to be heard. We're not talking about women want to kill babies, but real, ordinary, normal, straight Black women that don't want to be dudes, who are not, trying to compete, and say that my clitoris is bigger than your thing. We want real, happy mothers, women that like each other, like God, care about the community. So I'm going to shut up so you guys can talk. And I want to start off by letting Miriam and then Black Rose and then the 2 speakers speak. Okay? Bye.
Thank you for that, Dr. Short. Thank you for that, Brother Q. Good evening, ladies. Wonderful to be on a panel on the stage with you. Thank you for sharing your very, very personal stories, especially you, Sister Denise Johnson. My heart goes out still to you, sister. And there's no quibble about whether we're using people of color or Black American or anything like that. I was just making a distinction for the public, nothing towards you, because you're a very educated, very spiritual, very on code sister, first and foremost. So saying that with love and grace. And thank you, Miss Peoples, for sharing that information as well about your family and your baby and what sickle cell is, especially to Black American people, because a lot of us have family or even ourselves or family members who suffer from the genetic disease, as you were saying, and no one understands how painful that is, because sickle cell, as you were saying, when it's in its sickle form, meaning it's shaped like a crescent moon, it is not taking the nutrients or the oxygen, and it's not being distributed and delivered to the bloodstream the way it needs to, or utilizing or using the bloodstream, because it's compromised in itself, which leads to muscle and organ death. It could be very serious. And there used to be, when people didn't even live to be 9 years old, to get 21 was a blessing. So, yes, ma'am, I'm very educated on the matter.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear. I'm very happy to
Yes,
hear that you're educated on sickle cell. It's very painful. She told
yes,
me
ma'am, it
somebody
is.
was stabbing over and over, like with a hatchet type thing. She can't
She's
walk. I
not
can't.
lying.
I can't
She's,
touch her legs. I can't hug her. You know how most parents want to console their children, and I can't tell when I know she's in pain. Like, I better not touch. She gonna give me that cut eye. You better not touch
yeah,
me.
it's unfathomable. It's so painful.
Like she
You know,
was on the morphine, and it's like a really fine balance, because you don't want them to be too opiate dependent. And then we have this
yeah.
opiate pandemic thing, and it really affects our children with sickle cell, adults with sickle cell, or any kind of thing that deal with pain.
I'm gonna tell you this. Keep her away from morphine, because morphine slows the heart down, and it's usually a drug that is given to people. Yes, it's a great pain reliever, but it's over with so quickly.
It's a short acting, but the problem with my baby, she's allergic to certain stuff. So
Hmm.
it's not a lot of options sometimes. So that's what kind of makes it a little difficult. And then you got to work with doctors. It's very complicated. It's not that easy. um,
Oh, I know
but
it
we have tried other things,
personally.
and it's not a good thing. So we just have to kind of work with what we have.
Yeah, I understand. I just frown upon morphine because I know what it's used for. Because as part of my background, I am in medical also. Um, But you know, you do what works for your baby, but it's just my own personal gripe against morphine because I know what it's used for. And then, yes, it is short lived. And they need to also chase that with what you would call breakthrough drugs. Like after they give her that, before the time that's allotted for the pain
Mhm.
medicine to work, they can give her something to bridge that so it won't come on so much harder. And the main thing to it also, they should be dehydrating her. She should be getting a
Oh,
lot of
she gets fluids. Oh, she gets
IV fluids.
fluids.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
and that
We can
cuts her
go in anytime to
crisis.
get IV hydration. So our hematologist is pretty good. I'm really thankful
Hmm.
now that we kind of found a really good hematologist to work with her. Just adult care in general has been a little complicated because she turned an adult during COVID, which has really changed the
Mm.
medical field right now, and trying to navigate
Yes.
this new space. It's just been a little touchy, but I just been thankful that we were able to now have a pretty good hematologist who wasn't that at first. But just trying to figure it out because it's things change, new medication comes into play. We try it. If it don't work, it don't work, and we just try to find something that do. Stress is just a big trigger for her. So just trying to
Yes,
manage
ma'am.
and things of that
Extreme weather,
nature.
stress,
Yes, extreme weather
heavy
can
lifting. Yes, madam.
all of that, all of that. We just try to keep a happy go lucky vibe in the household. We just try to just live life the best that we can, despite what we're going through. So me and my daughter created something called Just Be You,
Um,
JUSSBEE, and the letter U. No matter what you're going through, to keep us going and maintaining positive attitudes while we are navigating this space. So, yeah.
yes, ma'am. Oh, that's wonderful because you have to stay positive when you're
Mhm.
facing because cell could be so dreadful and it's so painful and it makes you so weak and then the soreness after having a crisis. So I do understand that, and it's twice as harder on our little ones. Um, and also, I think I forgot to mention Sister Black Rose as well. Shout out to you, Sister. We have yet to hear from you, but we will. I want to transition over to our wonderful elder sister, Miss Denise. As I was saying, my heart goes out to you, and I can still see how well they'll never get easy, as they said. You can never forget because that's your baby, and we can see your mother's love and the worry and the pain that you have endured, and that's very still fresh every time you are made to retell his story. But he will live on by us knowing and being educated by yourself, and you out here still fighting for the justice or justice that he should have received, and the injustice that these suspected white supremacists have done. It's just mind-boggling. It's almost insane to hear the fact that the FBI was saying on a need-to-know basis, on the fact that how all of them are, in lockstep. But it shouldn't shock us too much because it's just the good old boy system doing what the good old system does. So you are so brave and still so strong to present and be representing for your baby. We love and appreciate you, sister. We're going to wrap our wonderful black arms around you in prayer. And we want to also try to support you as best as we can. My heart goes out to you. You have any words?
Yes, I just wanted to say to Sister Peoples, because Gregory, when he was born, he was basically born with what he wasn't born with all the shots they give him. He ended up with asthma, and so I had to take him to the doctor for 8 years straight. Every year, a couple times a year, he was in the hospital.
Mm.
So I kind of understand her illness. Um, but you know what? When these people deal with us differently. And I remember when in the '60s, Edgar
It's
J.
hard.
Hoover, he was
Yes, they
over
do.
the FBI. Remember Hoover? And he made this. There's a statement out there that he made about the Black Messiahs. He don't want another Black Messiah popping up because he knew.
Yes, ma'am,
He
I
knew
do.
the story, and he knew who we were.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
and so effectively, he killed all of our leadership. He was in on many of it. Many of the Dr. King, Malcolm X, definitely Malcolm X, Fred Hampton. He was in on. He knew what was up. Like the kids say, he knew what was up. This is what
Medgar
we're doing. We're
Evers.
not dealing
Mm-hmm.
from a aspect of people being of uh, Caucasoid persuasion. We're not dealing with that because they deal with us differently. There was a book that was written, Slavery by Another Name. So, see, sister, you still are
Yes,
dealing
ma'am,
with
they do.
slavery. You're a slave. I'm a slave. That's what you're dealing with. And no, they do not care. They did not care that you had a sick baby at home.
Hi, beautiful.
That none of the system doesn't work the same way for us. It doesn't work the same way that it does for people of other persuasions.
Medical apartheid.
Medical, that's right. It's that too. It's that too. Anything having to do with chains. It's a miracle that you didn't lose your mind. It's a miracle. The strength that I feel coming through this screen, I feel nothing but strength. You are a strong woman.
Thank
And
you.
I'm gonna tell you something they did to me a couple of years
Thank
ago
you
when
so
Black
much.
Outreach did a march. They set up a GoFundMe and it's one of those other sites. I forget the name of it. Where they were collecting money. When it got to $10,000, I heard from the IRS that I was going to have to report this money. See, they wanted to make sure that a poor woman couldn't get any help from anywhere. But see, they don't know the man I know. They don't know the man I know that I trust in. So you watch him, because they're a piece of work. Joe Biden is a dog. That's the bottom line. What's happened to him, he deserves every bit of it. All that crapping on himself, yeah, he deserves that. Yes, he does. Yes.
Yes, he is.
And it's going to be more than that. The Most High got a whole lot of stuff in store for all of them. Read Obadiah, baby. When you get sad, read Obadiah. It's all in the scriptures. This is slavery, nothing but slavery.
I just want
And
to say
yes,
Sister Sheree. Oh,
they're
go
still
right
looking
ahead,
for
sis.
black messiahs. Still looking for them.
I just want to say I'm so grateful for you guys for having me on here today. I've been so grateful and appreciative to be able to be on this platform, to be able to share my story, to be able to, get sickle cell out there too, because that is part of, my mission, my journey to help people to understand how it is caring for a loved one. Being a parent caregiver is not an easy task at all because we literally sacrifice our life for our children. And I did more than sacrifice. I went to jail for mine. So I really, really, really appreciate it.
We appreciate you, sister.
Yes, we do. We
I
appreciate them both.
I never ever imagined that I would meet or talk to. We just knew it was some woman that Kamala Harrison came down on. That's all we knew. So after today, at least they. It's sort of like in Russia when they had the purchase under Stalin. People didn't know. Just people disappear. like the sister said, worse than slavery, the chain gangs. Sometimes people come, folk would just be taken. I had a judge from Kentucky tell me that sometimes they just come and pick up black people at night. You're just gone. Now, it's still, it, who, if you have no phone, what, you don't know anything. That's like slavery. I do genealogy, and a lot of times you run up and the people, when on their death certificates and it ask name of mother and father, the answer is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes babies were snatched right after soul and just don't know anything. This is a continuation. This is the goalpost has changed, but it's still the same game of controlling, conquering, exploiting, and taking advantage of us. As our mother Johnson said, but let me be quiet. Black Rose has been helping me for years. I always bring up the
Wonderful.
fact there used to be a point where I couldn't keep my cricket phone on. And this sister would always like pay my bills. I mean, and never said, you ain't shit. You black bitch. She never once she sat down and never gave me any Kevin Samuels pushback. And today again, when I could not reach Sister People, like they're buffering my channel, my StreamYard, they're making it so people can't see. They don't want people to hear, but we've got easily 50, 60 people watching, maybe 100. And when this circulates, it's going to be many more. I'm hoping that people support you, Miss Peoples. And again, I told you I was sorry for what you. I'm genuinely displeased that these kinds of things we cannot, as a people, allow this kind of crap. And this is why we want to have our Patriarch Summit to say to the men, it's time for us as black men to tell people, stop effing with us. And I don't care where that leads. But if you never tell people to stop screwing you, they won't stop. You have to make people stop screwing with you. Sister Black Rose, my beloved Memphian sister, my buddy, my media friend, and soon, pray for my disability. They mess with us all. I can't wait to get down to Texas and spend time with you. I can't wait to, I'm going to come to California and meet you, Miss Peoples. I'm supposed to go there and just, I'm going to do another trip. I'm going to go and visit. I want to meet you in person, Miss Johnson. We only talk, but we've stayed in touch. What is it, 13 years now? More. I think
How long? Well, 16. Yeah.
Yeah, 16
Yeah.
years we've been talking.
He left here. He left my home 16 years ago.
Wow.
And that's minus from the 2008. So I always.
We'll stay in touch with you. We keep calling. It's not just today. It's not just the election cycle. Part of why we want to organize people is this should happen to another generation of people if we say it's not going to. Sister Black Rose, come on. Come in and speak. Don't be passive. I know you're there. Unmute yourself. Is she there?
She's there. She's there.
She must be doing something. Oh my. But just what you need to know about Black Rose is that there she is. She gardens, takes care of all the cats, all the birds, all the trees. They are like a fountain of life. Be person. Come on in. Don't be shy. Take a bow. Actually, I know how to get up and bring my tambourines out. Okay, hey, I'm gonna get Pentecostal.
She here. She here.
Hey, come on out here. They're gonna ask me to sing a song or something. Come on. Why? She must be doing something. What is she doing? But You've got to meet, in fact, Mother Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You are wisely.
Sister
You need
Rose.
to stay in touch with Miriam and the others. What I have wanted to do is on Fridays to find a way to create a forum for women to support and back each other. Believe it or not, just because we're into patriarchy doesn't mean if you're a real patriarch, you're really interested in health,
Yeah,
wellness,
that's true.
and the provision for women. If you don't give a damn about women, even if you're straight, you're just a
Yes,
third
sir.
device to the China. That's how I see it. I mean, it's just a hole to you. And there's more to a woman than her, that's why I would say we want to get our brothers beyond the five holes, the mouth, the vagina, the rectum, right? And the pocketbook. A woman's more than four holes.
Yes.
They got a soul. And by the way, you do give strength, sister. You give real strength because so many people children are taken. I should go and get this book while I'm thinking about it. So I know who can carry a conversation. Sister Miriam, take over until Black Rose comes in.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to get this book and show y'all. Go ahead. Take over for me.
Okay. There's so much Wasi energy on this stage. You have your wonderful Manjaro spirit. That's what our indigenous foundational Black American roots, our lineage come from. They say, well, you come from Africa. A small percentage of us do, but the majority of our ancestry come from this country. And we have a blend mixed with that came from chattel slavery, which make us very unique. And yeah, also to bridge our way into reparations. Not only are we owed protections in this country because we need an anti-Black American hate crime bill or foundational Black American hate crime bill. We need those protections that they so readily gave to everyone else, especially come ConMala. That scoundrel. I'm not going to do anything just for Black people. No. But she immediately looked over and did what? From Asians and Allen Pacificers, what she is, specifically for her. The Black farmers can't even get money that is distributed for them alone for their atrocities, their hurts, their pains, their blood, their sweat, their tears, and what they were denied and had been scuffling and been through for over 100 years in this country. But they all life mattered what they are given, the $2 billion that was finally agreed upon and may be allocated soon, they put on people of color. They added the Asian, they added the Caucasian, they added the Japanese or the Chinese. They added everybody and their mom, and the Hispanic. They added them to their hurt and suffering that was only for specifically Black American farmers that was left out of the process and not able to gain from their prosperity and work in their lands and by the sweat of their brow and the pain and the ache in their back and hands. But yet, all these other people who were given grants for farm equipment and seed and soil enrichment and all type of irrigation programs and stuff. They didn't do that and give that to our people. I see that medical apartheid. Yes, doctor.
And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Mm-hmm.
remind
Mm-hmm.
people that Dr. Boyd, who's head of the National Black Farmers Association, he's a distant cousin of mine. I was talking to his wife maybe 2-3 years ago. They've been receiving massive death threats. And
Mm-hmm.
yet the money was being divided in four parts to Latins, to Asians, I think to gays and women and to blacks. But
Mm-hmm.
all the hate was going
And
to the black
Europeans.
farmers. And we have to stop doing that. It's the same way I had to tell a deacon from my
Or
church
Caucasian.
who got mad at me because I was just pointing out that the Democrats have black folks helping everybody but themselves. And my thing is, Why would I want to wipe another man's ass if my butthole is itching? And like, can you imagine trying to pick your booty and you're wiping someone's behind? Even the person looking at you, what are you doing?
Yeah, insanity.
I mean, because you can't really concentrate on wiping the other person behind when you're trying to pick your booty, unless you got really good dexterity. And he got all upset. He got all upset with me. And I said, well, let me put it differently. Since you believe in sharing everything, I know your wife doesn't want you to buy wedding anniversary gifts for other women, and you don't want her sleeping with other men, do you? So how hard is that for you to see that we need to focus in on ourselves? Why are we so generous that we're helping everybody else when we have those amongst us in need? When I tell you all these Latin folk here and others have motorcycles, new apartments, cars, and I see Black veterans in the streets starving. People getting $23 a month that were disabled. And they're giving this. We've got to stop this, and we've got to be able to just focus in on who we are. We've got enough for diversity. People in my family have Filipino DNA. I got Asian. I mean, my mother and these people, they look Filipino. They don't look black like I do. I got Indian. I got Asian. We got folks from Peru and Mexico in my family. We're damn United Nations. Let's help the diversity within our own group. Let's embrace self and each other. And then we can honestly embrace other people if that's what people got to do. But I think it's ridiculous. You get these Negro preachers, they have a racial reconciliation meeting with white pastors who are just as bigoted as they want to be. And yet these Black churches are all busted up because they all keep starting new churches because they hate each other. They got dogged by Bishop Dog Doodoo, would never let him speak after 20 years for sitting under somebody. So he sets up the church just like him and they can't stand each other. Reconciliation and reparation starts with what we do for each other. Mother Johnson needs to be repaired. We can't bring the sun back. Sheree needs to be repaired. We can't restore those years. We can't undo the pain her daughters endure, them having to do with these medical people every day. But we should be making good faith effort to heal one another.
Yes,
and that's only reasonable. And by the way, healing is a big part of what I see as the real woman's liberation, is to heal self. Don't spend so much time healing everybody that you don't take care of yourself, but to heal the man, to heal the child, and for the woman to heal herself. She must become a surgeon general of the race.
Yes, sir.
And I know we've gone long, Brother Q has, he works with white people. We don't want him to lose his black white job. But we can do this
Salute
again.
to you, Brother
You
Q.
guys have my number.
I know that's right.
And I want to give a shout out to Mother Azima, who told me about this thing that fights cancer and gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial infections. I didn't even have this energy 2 days ago. She's been up my behind. When are you going to take it? And so you only need to take it twice a day. And I'm saying to you guys, I dodged the big one. I had severe sepsis. I could have died 3.5 weeks ago. It could have happened suddenly. And so I want to give a shout out
God,
to
you still with us.
Azima, Mother Azima. If you guys want an herbalist that's not greedy, that is a pay as you go, or that you could give her, a donation in installments, Mother Azima, I've watched her save or extend people's lives who had almost no time left. And she didn't say, give me $1 million. And so you see this Patriarch Summit, you see the Angry Black Men's Book Club. I don't get anything done without cooperating with a Black woman somewhere. Whether it's my mother letting me fill up the library with books, whether it's Black Rose, whether it's Sister Miriam, whether it's Quiet Scales, whether it's Sister Starlet, whether it's Sister Latoya with Salt Ministry. In fact, I want to introduce you,
Mother
people.
and Savior.
You need to meet Sister Valerie. She's a mastermind of social work issues in Southern California. Because you need a social work type person.
Yeah.
You can call me. I'll give you her number. We're not going to let go of you. I mean, if you don't want to let go of, but we've got to heal each other. And again, Mother Azima, God bless you. All the
Yes, God
brothers.
bless you, Mother Azima.
Yeah, Mother Azima, we're going to have her on. She may even be able to tell you something about sickle cell. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Yes.
she walks around just, oh, we'll do this, do that. I mean, she's the kind of person that can tell you if your blood pressure cuff, oh, that's crap. Where'd
And
you get that
she's so humble, isn't she, Doctor? Because
Yeah,
who
she'll tell you,
and
"Oh,
what is
the
she?
thing you have is full of crap." I mean, like I had people tell me I was going to have a heart attack, and she says, "Oh, who made it? That must be from Walmart. That doesn't work." And she was right. All of the stuff was wrong. She didn't even see it. She's in St. Louis telling me about the blood pressure cuffs. Um, we need each other. My God, we need each other. There's a war being made on us. We need to have an amnesty. Stop fighting, stop hating, start loving, start helping, start caring, start checking, start correcting each other. Um, I'm feeling good. This thing is called you uh Eucia or Eucenia. Something. You want me to go get the bottle so y'all can see it? This stuff is good, but you take it for like 14 days and it cleanses the body, kills all the germs and things that your doctors don't tell you about. Like I had to fight with my doctors, look at the blood, I had to tell the Pakistani dude, hey, whatever problem I have, it's in my blood. Okay, it's in the blood. They found it in the blood. I'm not a doctor. I just told them it's in the blood.
Can you
And
spell that, Dr. Short? Can you spell the name of that?
yeah, I'm gonna go get it. Now take over for 1 second. I'm gonna get it right now. Hold on.
Okay, and Doctor, after this program, we're going to talk also about some other wonderful herbs, and myself and Mother Azima still have to have a discussion too. She's wonderful, and he was being humble and introducing her title to us, because she's a retired physicist or astronaut, and who was driven and started her path into naturopathy medicine. So she's a very educated, knowledgeable. I mean, literally sitting in front of
Yeah,
greatness. But the sister is down home and so humble and such a
Yes,
beautiful
she sure
she
spirit.
is. Yep,
she
she
was
Yes,
sure
at
is, ma'am.
NASA. She's a second generation hidden figures. We
yes,
all
she
need to have
is.
her on. In fact, y'all need to understand she's in St. Louis. Actually, she used to be in Jennings, or it's AKA Ferguson. Wonder where the
Mm-hmm.
black consciousness came from that blew up the whole country? It
Mm.
came out of St. Louis, right? Who's there? Azima.
Hmm.
It's called Usea. It's spelled Usnea. It doesn't even taste that bad. You take a few drops twice a day in water or juice or something. But my mother was looking at me. I went out and started weeding the front yard. I couldn't believe I was doing it. Just the day before, I've been told, I was like, hell, it's time to go back to bed.
Look at God.
And so it doesn't cost that much. You can get it for $19, $20, and it'll last you maybe about 2 weeks, but it cleanses the body. You know, a lot of people have parasites. The people in the medicine, they only go after the main thing that you go and talk to them about. A lot of them are not thorough. Sort of like a person that wipes their behind and they still pick their booty because they didn't get all the pieces out, which is why I advise people to use wipes, right? Um, you need holistic medicine. There was another thing she told me about called white willow bark.
Yeah.
She, Azima, no, okay.
Yes,
When
that's
you hear
good.
me
It's
when you
excellent.
hear me praising somebody, because folks heard me get down on someone, it's wonderful. This whole Wazi thing, I get to be the real me, the nice me, the me that loves animals, cats, and children, and I like feminine sisters. You get to just love. You don't have to combat like these ratchet pork chop feminists out here who make you want to be a trans so you can beat their behind. Well, I think I told the story when I was in the hospital, and the woman thought my mother was my woman because my mother looked so young, so she was blocking my mother from visiting me when I was in the
Oh
hospital.
my goodness.
And so yeah, she was hating on my mother getting game.
Oh my
And I
goodness,
had to call
Mother
her
Short.
supervisor and said, you lucky I'm a Christian. Man, if I wasn't a Christian, I would say I was a woman, take these damn things out and beat her ass and be a woman for a few minutes and come back up and be a man again. Says, you lucky I'm a Christian. You lucky because I would just say as a woman. And it was a woman thing. It was crisscross. I kicked her ass. I says, you lucky. you know, and they also dogged my auntie that used to sing with Marvin Gaye. Mother Kim Weston, like 80 some odd years old, come to visit me in the hospital.
Mm.
They made her wait 3 hours and told her in the wintertime to get out. Man,
What?
I was ready to like fight someone. I was gonna beat someone. Someone's ass got to get beat in here. You do this to my auntie, like this is embarrassing. And so this is gonna have a heart attack. At least I'm gonna give someone one before I'm finished. So it's nice to be able to be loving. That's what we had when you had liberated zones, maroon communities where people could be healthy. We
Yes.
have to make, if it's just your home, a place of peace, of sanctity. Turn off the stupid music. Why listen to any woman that calls herself a stallion? I'm wondering if she's a dude. Why pay attention to Gabriel Union? If you women have your little boy cut his dick off, I can't trust you. Why can't we get into positive things? Prayer, meditation, herbs, clean your body, clean your mind, eat better. Spend your money with people that like you or don't spend it at all. Save something.
Teach,
Go on
doctor.
a trip somewhere. Have a garden. Let me tell you, I can't wait. I got a peach tree. I feel so good with this Usnea. It's USNEA. I feel so good. I'm gonna pick the peaches off my tree. I got a few, because we got rodents. This is DC, and the rats are all over the place, especially in the White House and in the Capitol building. The rats wear suits here. But be positive. Love, help, embrace, care about it, try it. And everything, by the way, we're not pulling wazis for me to create a harem. I don't want a holy harem. There's no such thing as a holy harem. Although you have homes who have harems. Every exchange between black men and black women does not have to be inserted into somebody's orifice or having a hand in their pocketbook or something in their mouth or being taken out to eat and spend money. How about regular conversations? We've gotten to the point we don't know each other. We're so surface with each other. We were surface with Sister Sheree. All we knew, what we heard is a bad, no good black mother got busted. We didn't hear about the mother that basically sacrificial, ready to die for her child.
That's
A
right.
marriage. And we're so surface. We let our media, a weaponized media run by people who hate our guts, who used to sell us. Tell us about one another. We follow Boulay people who hate us and don't come around us and don't help us. We let them lead us to pick who makes policy over the lives that we live.
Yes, sir.
That's all I want to say. I didn't mean to talk this long. Look, as I say to everybody, my little famous M, F, M, that's my gang. and my pronouns are cut the check and MFM.
I know that's right.
We must get reparations. We must repair. There should be the
Yes,
best
sir.
of medical care and best counseling and support for all the victims, even people that are subconsciously unaware of how they've been victimized. From me giving bad blood to people trying to neglect me in the hospital, have to like, because I got a survey to do. I got to come down on some African nurses. And I'm telling you, I'm having Klansman flashbacks. I've got slave masters in my ancestry. I'm sorry, my great grandfather owned 24 people. I'm sorry. But I'm feeling that right now. There were some nasty people over here who don't want to be brothers and sisters.
Well,
But
that's
may the
what.
Lord bless and keep you. May his face shine upon you, give you peace. Much love to all you ladies. We
Peace
must
to you, doctor.
we need to get Miss Peoples with Mother Karen. Mother Karen is Chicago. We need to get her with Sister Keisha, Sister Brooke. We're all
Yes,
going to wrap arms around these two women. And
they're
when I get
awesome.
to Dr. Rhonda Hampton, we're going to support her too. She's getting death threats, the woman that's been speaking up for Mitrice Richardson. How could it be that a Black woman who's speaking out about a
She
Black
should be
woman being raped
protected.
and lynched, and her life isn't safe? All the Black folks with guns shooting everywhere, and these folks aren't safe? I question your manhood. And it's a sad day when the Black man becomes like with the white man where his dick is a gun. I think you can have a gun and a dick.
Okay,
With that,
not one or the
we're
other.
gonna close one little promotion before we close out for the Patriarch Summit.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the Patriarch Summit. It's patriarchsummit.com. PARTIARCHSUMMIT.com. All the details are there. We will probably have some other speakers as we have a whole new contingent in Maryland and in Mississippi. And by the way, you're welcome, Miss Peoples. And we want you, Mother Johnson, Sister Peoples, to be part of the WASI Summit. We may have to do that virtually because, folks throw money at Megan Thee Stallion and they won't throw it at your cause or my cause. But we're going to do this. Again, Mother Miriam, Randall, thank you for your leadership, for your love, for always complimenting. They talked to me so hard, I think I'm married to her.
And we're going to do spaces too.
We
get together.
Let us know your availability, Mother Johnson and Mother Peoples. We will, and yes, I'll beg anybody. Somebody's got to give some. I mean, at least I got a tank of gas. I'm at least good for a tank of gas for you. If I can't, I'm not. A man ain't worth a damn if he can't do something for a woman in need. I'm not talking about paying someone's buying and taking them to the hair parlor, although that's good. But when we truly have a righteous person in need, we men need to rediscover what it means to be heroes, to be rescuers. Not like Beyonce said, be a soldier, but be a soldier as a man, as these two women have been soldiers. One soldier for her son and for everybody's son and daughter. And of course, Mother Peoples, a soldier for a daughter.
Yes.
For everybody. Okay, let me
Yes.
stop talking. I'm going to get off of here. Thank you. And my apologies to all of you that followed this.
We begin
They've been
to
attacking
groom leadership,
everybody's
and we also have to get rid of old school, old Black folk who don't want anyone else. The boomer generation can't die off fast enough for me, a lot of them, because they haven't let the X generation take root.
The struggle will now be bastardized. On August 24th, 2024, we're launching the Patriot Summit. You must be there. We are going to save ourselves, our manhood, our womanhood, our children, our community. We need the few that will do. Why not you? We want a few good men and a few good women to join forces. It's the Patriarch Summit. Check our GoFundMe link. Thank you.
What have you done for me lately? It's Coons. What have y'all done for us lately? And if there's no answer, the only thing we owe them